Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is January 9th, 2023. It's on Monday today. It's sunny outside. How are you spending today? How are you spending today? It's national holiday here. So many people will be on holiday. Many people will be on day off today. The procedure is taking time, so in the meantime, let me check if the address is correct. The procedure is taking time. It will take 3 or 5 minutes. So in the meantime, let me check the other documents. The schedule, according to the schedule, you have about 1 hour lunch time. So in the meantime, please have a lunch somewhere around during that time. We have 1 hour. In the schedule of delivery, we don't have particular time for lunch. But please make yourself such time for lunch. In the meantime, please have your lunch. In the schedule of delivery, we don't have particular time for lunch. So according to your schedule, please have your lunch accordingly. In the meantime, once a month we have created the opportunity to eat lunch together. Many workers or students have 1 hour lunch break. In the meantime, they might go outside to eat, or they eat in the school cafe or company cafe and so on. It depends on you. It's up to you. It's up to you. I have a lunch break for 1 hour. Meanwhile, I will go to the post office to send the gift to my friends. I have a lunch break for 1 hour. In the meantime, I will go to the bank to withdraw some money before the long vacation. I have a 1 hour lunch break. Meanwhile, I will go to the bank and withdraw some money. Do you know where I can find an ATM? Do you know where is the nearest, where there is the nearest ATM from here? Do you know where is the nearest ATM around here, from here? Do you know where there is the nearest ATM around here? I have a 1 hour lunch break. In the meantime, I will go to the ATM to withdraw some money. I have a lunch break for 1 hour. Meanwhile, I will go to the city hall, to have the documents dealt with. In order to get the documents dealt with. In the meanwhile, how do you use either in the meantime and or meanwhile? Do you use both? Some companies or shops went bankrupt during the pandemic. In the meantime, other companies or shops got highest profits. Some companies or shops went bankrupt during the pandemic. Meanwhile, other shops or companies got highest profits to take advantage of the pandemic. Some companies and stores were influenced by the dropping yen, while others made a profit by taking advantage of the dropping yen. Some companies or stores were affected by the dropping yen. In the meantime, meanwhile, other companies made a great deal of profit. Made lots of profits from that. Some companies or stores were damaged severely, tremendously, dreadfully by dropping yen. In the meanwhile, others got lots of profit. Some companies or stores were damaged by dropping yen. In the meanwhile, other companies got lots of profits. Some companies went bankrupt or were obliged to close during the pandemic. In the meantime, others got lots of profits. Meanwhile, others got lots of profits, plenty of profits, much profits. Some successful people tend to challenge without thinking of the consequence enough. I think most of us think too much of the consequences and the failure, and which disturb us from challenging. Most of us will think of the consequences or failures if we try, which are disturbing us from challenging something great, something big. Some successful people challenge or try without thinking much of the consequences of what they have did. Some successful people, or many successful people, will try and challenge without thinking of the consequences much. The car accident is the obvious consequence of drunk driving. The mistake is an obvious consequence of the negligence. His layoff is an obvious, clear-cut consequence of his series of negligence. Subsequently, in consequence, in consequence, in consequence, consequence, in 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 consequence. The student studied so hard every day, 10 hours on weekdays and 4 hours after school. Entering the university in consequence. The man stood up for his arrogant policy. In consequence, he was forced to go out of the team. He has stood up for his policy, no matter who criticized him, no matter how many criticisms he have got. In consequences, he is now regarded as savior. He has stood up for his policy, no matter who criticized him, no matter how many criticisms he got. In consequence, he is now regarded as a superhero. He is viewed as a superhero. He was seen as a superhero. He stood up for his policy, no matter who criticized him, no matter how many criticisms he got. In consequence, he became a superhero now. The man kept his effort of the research. In consequence, he developed the masterpiece. The man devoted much of his life to the research. In the end, in consequence, he developed breakthrough. He achieved breakthrough. He achieved the feat. He achieved the feat. He achieved the feat. He achieved feat. He achieved the feat. In consequence. In consequence. In consequence. In consequence. In consequence, in consequence, in consequence. I autonomous economically, financially, and emotionally. I autonomous. I autonomous. I autonomous. I autonomous financially and emotionally. Being autonomous emotionally and financially might be regarded as an adult. Being autonomous emotionally and financially might be regarded as an adult. I'm afraid autonomous robots or AI or robots or machines might replace us as new workers. But it is predicted like that. It is predicted that most of the jobs will be replaced by robots. Most of the jobs will be replaced by robots. Autonomous machines, autonomous vehicles, autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles will be convenient, especially in countryside where there is few public transportation. Autonomous vehicles will be convenient, especially in countryside or in the middle of the mountain where there is few public transportation available. There is few public transportation available. Autonomous vehicles such as drone will be used for the delivery, especially in the middle of the mountain, which will be very convenient. Delivering the goods by autonomous vehicles from the sky will be very convenient when it comes to in the middle of the mountain, where it is very difficult to have approach to the very narrow spaces. Autonomous vehicles such as drone will be very convenient to deliver things in the middle of the mountain where it can be very difficult to have access to. Autonomous vehicles will be very convenient in the future, which will allow them to deliver goods to such places as houses located in middle of the mountain, where it can be very difficult to have access to, taking very narrow spaces and so on. Autonomous, 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 autonomous. Autonomous, autonomous, autonomous vehicles, autonomous vehicles, autonomous vehicles will be developed more and more. The autonomous vehicles might be prevalent around the world. Autonomous vehicles might replace the current ones as new transportation. Autonomous vehicles might replace the current cars, gas-operated cars, as new cars, as new transporter. Autonomous vehicles might replace current gas-operated cars as new transporter. Autonomic improvement. Can I improve my autonomic things? Autonomic activities. Autonomic activity. I cannot control autonomic activities. Like the heartbeat. I cannot control it. Autonomic captivity. We cannot control autonomic activity. Autonomic. Autonomic. Autonomic activity, autonomic balance. Autonomic balance collapse, we will have problem. Taking a balance is very important to everything. Taking a balance is very important, or the most important part in everything. Taking a balance is the most important thing in everything. Autonomic. Activity. Autonomic check. Autonomic investigation. Autonomic activity. Autonomic balance. How can I make autonomic activation possible? How can I make my autonomic activation possible? Autonomic activation possible. What are the things which will help the autonomic activation? What are the things which will help my autonomic activation? What are the things which will help autonomic activation? What are the things which will help autonomic activation? Autonomic activation. What are the things which will contribute to autonomic activation? What are the things which will contribute to autonomic activation? Autonomic. Autonomic activation, autonomic activities. We cannot control control autonomic activities. We cannot have control over autonomic activities. Autonomic. Financial autonomy. Autonomy of cleaning the toilet. autonomy, financial autonomy, financial autonomy, chief finance, chief financial officer, CFO, chief financial officer. The CFO stands for chief of financial officer. The CFO stands for chief financial officer, chief financial officer. Autonomy, financial autonomy, autonomy, financial autonomy, autonomy, autonomy. When did you establish the autonomy of finance? When did you establish the autonomy of finance? I think most of the people will establish their financial autonomy after graduating from high school or universities. Autonomy of going abroad alone. I established the autonomy of going abroad alone when I was 25 or 26. Autonomy, autonomy, autonomy. Autonomy, financial autonomy. Financial autonomy. When did you establish your financial autonomy? Financial autonomy. 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 Financial autonomy. When did you establish your financial autonomy? Autonomy. Financial 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 autonomy. 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 I established financial autonomy when I was 22. Autonomy. Autonomy. When did you establish your financial autonomy? Autonomy. The autonomy development of the machines. The autonomy of the machines. The quality of the autonomy of machines will be improved. The autonomy of the machines are stunning. The autonomy of the machines is stunning, surprising. I was surprised at the autonomy of elementary school students commuting using the Yamanote line of the train in Tokyo. When I was in an elementary school, I walked to school and I didn't know at all about how to take trains, let alone buses and ferries and other public transportations. When I was an elementary school student, I didn't know how to take trains at all. Needless to say, buses, ferries, and other public transportations. So I was astonished at the elementary school students commuting taking Yamanote line of the train in Tokyo. I was surprised at the autonomy of elementary school students commuting with the trains in Tokyo. Autonomy. I was surprised at the autonomy of elementary school students commuting by trains in Tokyo. When I looked back on my kid days, I couldn't know how to take trains at all, of course, nor buses, ferries, and other public transportations. Autonomy. Some people established their autonomy so early. Some people established their autonomy in everything so early. And some people establish autonomy very early, much earlier than average people. Some people establish autonomy in everything much earlier than average people. Some people establish autonomy much earlier. Autonomy. Some people establish their autonomy in everything much earlier. Autonomy. 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 Financial autonomy. Financial autonomy. 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 Since you were wearing the red hat, it was not difficult to identify you among the crowds, in the crowds. Since you were wearing the red hat, it was not difficult to identify you in the crowds. Thank you for wearing the red hat. I was glad at the moment to identify me with the teacher with the same TOEIC score. Is it difficult to identify anonymous? Is it difficult for the police officer to identify the anonymous criminals? Is it difficult for the police officers to identify the anonymous criminals? Do you identify Coca-Cola with Pepsi? Do you identify me with my father? I was often identified with my father because we used to look alike. We used to look alike each other. Do you identify making a mistake with approach, one-step approach to the success? Do you take a mistake as a one-step approach to the success? Do you identify a mistake with one step forward to the success? Do you identify a mistake with a step to the success? Do you identify a mistake with a success? An approach to the success, one-step approach to the success. A mistake is often identified with a step to the success. One step to the success. One step approach to the success. One step approach to the success. A mistake is often identified with a step forward to the success, a step approach to the success, a step closer to the success. A mistake is often identified with a step closer to the success. The police officers are trying to identify the criminal at large. The police officers are trying to identify the anonymous criminal. It was not long before the police officers identified the anonymous criminal. It was not long before the cops identified the anonymous criminal. It was not long before the cops identified and arrested the anonymous criminals. It wasn't long before the cops identified the criminals, anonymous criminals. It was not long before the cops identified the anonymous criminals. Please do not identify me with a celebrity. Do you identify me with a unique person? Do you identify me with a unique person? It is correct though. I identify breakthrough with the outcome of crazy idea, trying crazy idea. challenging crazy idea. I identify I identify breakthrough with the outcome of challenging crazy thing. Crazy thing. I identify a breakthrough with the outcome of a trying crazy idea. Crazy try. I identify a breakthrough with the outcome of challenging crazy idea, crazy thing. I identify a breakthrough or feat with the outcome of challenging crazy thing. I identify a breakthrough with the outcome of challenging crazy things. I identify a breakthrough with the outcome of challenging something crazy. I identify a breakthrough with the outcome of challenging something crazy. Breakthrough is identified with challenging something crazy by me. Do you identify fried potatoes with French fries? Some people identify fried potatoes with French fries. Some people identify French fries with fried potatoes. I'm often identified with a unique person. I'm often identified with a unique person. The newly established shopping mall is identified with the previous one because the only the difference the only difference from previous one is the cover, the brand name. I identify the newly established shopping mall with the previous one because the only difference from previous one is the shop sign. Identity should be respected. Individual identity should be nurtured. Do you have something to show your identity? When did you establish your identity? I think many people will find difficulty in establishing their identity during the adolescence. I believe many people suffered until they established their identity during the adolescence. I think many people had difficulty in establishing their identity during the adolescence. I think many people find difficulty in establishing their identity during the adolescence. Identity. Do you have an identity card? Do you have an identity card? You cannot enter without an identity card. To apply for the lecture course, you need to produce your identity card at the receptionist at the reception. In order to apply for the documents, you have to show your identity card at the reception. Identity. What is the identity of you? I think studying English every day might be regarded as one of my identities. I think studying English is regarded as my identity. Unique personality is my identity. Many people identify me with a unique person. Identity. I really put the identity card in my wallet, but I cannot find it. I might have dropped it. I did put the identity card in my wallet before leaving my house. So I think I must have dropped it. I did put the identification card in my wallet, but I cannot find it. I might have dropped it somewhere. I might have dropped it somewhere. Identity. Identity card. Please show me your identity card. ID card. Identity card. Please show me your identity card. Identity card. Studying English every day is my identity. When did you establish your identity? Many students will find difficulty in establishing identity during the adolescence. Many people will difficulty in establishing identity during the adolescence. Many people will have trouble in establishing identity during the adolescence. Many people will have trouble in establishing identity during the adolescence. Identity. Unique is the best word for my identity. Unique or crazy is the best word for my identity. Unique is my identity. Why did you buy the identical thing? Have you ever bought the identical thing by mistake? Have you ever bought identical thing? Two identical things by mistake? Have you ever bought two identical things by mistake? I'd like to buy the identical jacket as worn by the celebrity. I wanted to buy the identical jacket which is worn by the celebrity, but I couldn't find it. I wanted to buy the identical jacket as worn by the celebrity, but I couldn't find it. Identical. My ideas are never identical to others. My ideas or way of thinking are never identical to others. My ideas are never identical to others. Identical, 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 identical. Identical. Identical merchandise, identical goods, identical product I bought twice by mistake, accidentally. Accidentally, I bought the identical goods by mistake. Accidentally, I bought the identical thing which I have already at home. I sometimes buy the identical product by mistake, although I already have it one. Although I already have it. Although I already have it. I sometimes buy the identical product which I already have at home by mistake. I sometimes buy the identical product which I already have at home by mistake. I sometimes buy the identical product which I already have at home by mistake. I sometimes buy the identical product which I already have at home. I sometimes buy the two identical products by mistake, and I realize it when I pay at the cashier. I sometimes buy two identical products and realize it at the cashier. Identical, identical, identical. My ideas are never identical to others. My ideas, interests, and way of thinking are never identical to others. Identical, 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 identical. There are never two identical persons in the world. There are never identical persons in the world. We cannot the identical sound again. We can't reproduce the identical sound which we already played again. We cannot reproduce the identical sound which played before again. We cannot reproduce the perfect identical sound again, which we already played. We cannot reproduce the perfect identical sound which we played before again. We cannot reproduce the perfect identical sound which we produced before again. We cannot reproduce the perfect identical sound which we played before again. We cannot reproduce the identical sound which we played before. We cannot reproduce the perfect identical sound which played before again. The layout was returned to the original one identically. The layout of the cafe was returned to the original one identically. 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 We cannot reproduce the same sound identically again. We cannot reproduce the sound of the one played before again identically. We cannot reproduce the sound which we played before identically again. We cannot reproduce the sound which we played before again identically. Identically. We cannot reproduce the sound which played before identically again. Identically. 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 The chef divides the same amount of rice into small cups, small balls, identically, without measuring. The chef can divide the same amount of rice into the balls identically, without measuring. The chef can measure the same amount of rice without measuring identically. The chef can divide the same amount of rice into balls identically without measuring. The chef can divide the same amount of rice into the balls without measuring identically. The chef can divide the same amount of rice into the balls without measuring identically. 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 Evaluating the students identically is very difficult. There are many criteria, such as paper examinations, interviews, sports, and so on. So it's very difficult to evaluate students identically. We should be treated identically. We should be treated identically. The chef can divide the same volume of rice into the bowls without measuring identically. 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 The event was held identically to the one held last year, the year before. The event was held identically to the one held the year before. Identically. 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 We both went to the restaurant identically at the same time. We went to the restaurant at the same time identically. We both left the house at the same time identically. By accident. Miraculously. Accidentally. We both went to the restaurant at the same time identically. And the man walked to the man passed the point at the same time identically. The man walks the course identically every day. The man walks the route, the man walks the route identically every day. The man walks the route, the man walks the route. The man walks the route, walks the route. The man walks the route, walks the route. The man walks the route every day, identically. The layout of the cafe was returned to the original one, identically. Identically. The man walks the course identically every day. The man walks the route identically every day. The man walks the route every day, identically. The man passed the point at the same time, identically every day. The man passed the route. The man passed the point. The man passed the point of the course at the same time, every day, identically. 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 The chef can divide the same volume of rice into bowls identically without measuring. Identically. Identically. The examination was started identically at the same time. The examination was started at the same time identically. Could you show me the identification card? You need an identification card to apply for the document. To apply. You need an identification card to apply. So please be prepared. Please prepare. Please be prepared. So please prepare the identification card beforehand. Without it, you cannot apply. So please bear that in mind. Take that in mind. Identification. Identification card. Identification card. Identification. 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 Identification card. Identification. 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 Have you decided the target you want to achieve in 2023? Have you decided the targets you want to achieve in 2023? What are the targets you'd like to achieve in 2023? What are the targets you want to achieve or you want to make true in 2023? Have you decided what you want to achieve What targets you want to achieve in 2023? What you said beside the point. Beside the point. What I say is often beside the point. What you said is exactly to the point. Have you decided what targets you want to achieve in 2023? What are the targets you set for 2023? What are the targets you set for 2023? Our challenge might miss a target, but which will make us one step closer to the success. Our challenges might miss a target, but the mistake will make us closer to the success, which will make us closer to the success, one step forward, one step closer to the success. So it is not like a mistake, it's an approach to success. I hope my ideas will hit the target. What you are talking is missing a target from the topic for today. What you are talking is gradually missing a target from the topic for today. The lottery missed the target, missed the target, missed the target. The lottery I bought missed the target. The lottery I bought missed the target, missed the target, missed the target. Miss the target, miss the target. Don't miss the target. Don't miss the target by being negligent. Don't miss the target. Don't pass up the chance by being negligent. Don't miss the target by being negligent. Don't miss the target by being negligent. Don't miss the target by being negligent. My way of talking often miss the target from the main point. The lottery missed the target. The lottery I bought missed the target. 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 I missed the target. The lottery I bought missed the target. Miss the target. Don't miss the target by being negligent. Don't miss the target. 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 Don't miss the target by being negligent. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. I hope my venture business will hit the target. Some of my businesses Mr. Target. Mr. Target. Some of my venture businesses, Mr. Target, Mr. Target. Some of my venture businesses, Mr. Target, Mr. Target, Mr. Target. My talking usually or frequently miss the target from the topic. My talking often deviates from the topic and miss the target. The prediction miss the target. Predictions often miss the target. Predictions made by some people often miss the target. Miss the target. Predictions often 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 miss the target. Predictions by him often hit 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 the target. Don't miss the target by being negligent. Many ideas might miss the target. Many ideas might miss the target. But which will make us notice which way to go. Many businesses might miss a target. Many businesses might miss a target, but which will make us know which way to go. Many businesses might miss a target, but which will make us know the wrong way. I usually study targeting, getting a qualification, which make me motivated, which keep me motivated, which leave me motivated. I usually study by targeting, getting the qualifications, which keep me motivated. I cannot study without a target. I usually study with a target, such as qualification. Please throw your ball targeting the center. I throw the ball targeting the center circle of the board. I throw the darts targeting the center circle of the board. I usually do my effort targeting something, such as qualification and so on, to keep me motivated, to leave me motivated, to stay motivated, to hold motivated, to stay motivated, to remain motivated, to leave me motivated. I usually study by targeting getting the qualification, targeting getting a qualification, by targeting getting a qualification, by targeting qualification, by targeting a qualification. I studied so hard by targeting my ideal person. I studied hard by targeting my ideal person. I studied English so hard, targeting some qualifications. I studied English so hard by targeting Aiken examination, TOEIC test, and the national examination for the national government licensed the national government licensed guide interpreter. I usually like to achieve something goal by targeting something. I studied English so hard by targeting the qualifications. I studied English so hard by targeting qualifications. I usually study so hard targeting getting the qualifications. I usually study hard by targeting a qualification. The machine sometimes go out of control. Ended up turn off the switch. The machine can go out of control sometimes, ending in turning off the switch. The machine sometimes go out of control, ending in turning off the switch. The machine sometimes go out of control and ends up turning off the switch. The feudal lord had control over the region. The feudal lord had control over the huge regions. The feudal lord used to have control over the Tohoku region. The shogun succeeded in having the control over whole Japan. The CEO has a control over the company. Due to the anesthesia on my left arm, I couldn't control my left arm. Due to the anesthesia, I couldn't control my left arm. I had no I had no sense of touch. I had no sense of touch on my left arm because of the anesthesia. Because of the anesthesia, I had no sense of touch on my left arm. Due to the anesthesia, I had no sense of touch on my left arm during the operation. Autonomous machines might have control over the society in the future. Autonomous machines and robots might have control over the society. Autonomous machines and robots might have control over the society in the future. More and more autonomous machines might have control over the society. More and more autonomous machines are having control over the production of many products. More and more autonomous machines are having control over the many productions. More and more autonomous machines are taking over us as new workers. More and more autonomous machines and robots are replacing us as new workers and having control over the many productions. More and more autonomous machines are having control over many productions. More and more autonomous machines are having control over many productions. More and more autonomous machines are having control over many productions. More and more autonomous machines are having control over many productions. Our society might be had control over by autonomous machines in the future. The society might be had control over by AIs, robots, such autonomous machines. Without permission, you cannot have control over the machine. Without permission, you cannot have control over the machine. In order to get the permission and certificate of operating the machine, you need to pass 6 practical training. You have to get at least 6 practical practice before with a veteran. In order to operate the machine, you need to have at least 6 time practical training with the veteran. In order to get the qualification of operating the machine, you need to get at least 6 time practical training with the veteran. And then you can have control over the machine. And then you can have control over the machine. Edo government had control over Japan for a long time, more than 200 years. Edo government had control over Japan for a long time, more than 200 years. Edo government had control over Japan for more than 200 years. I wish uncontrolled, 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 uncontrolled freedom. I think good ideas will come alive, come up, come arise. Arise, arouse, come up in an uncontrolled environment. In an uncontrolled freedom. I think a good idea will come up in an uncontrolled freedom environment. Uncontrolled. I think a good idea, or a very good idea, will come up in an uncontrolled freedom environment, free environment. I believe that a good idea will come up in an uncontrolled free environment, like when I'm taking a shower. Uncontrolled free environment. Uncontrolled free environment is very important to come up with a good idea. Uncontrolled freedom environment is very important to come up with a good idea. Unique idea, I think. Uncontrolled free environment is very important to come up with a unique idea. Uncontrolled. 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 Uncontrolled free environment. Uncontrolled free environment. Uncontrolled free environment is very important to come up with a good idea. Uncontrolled. Do you have a space or time where you can enjoy uncontrolled environment? I'd like to find the place, uncontrolled, peaceful place where I can be alone. The hotel single room is one of the uncontrolled free space for me, where I can get away from busy center, busy downtown. The hotel single room is one of the uncontrolled free space where I can escape from busy urban life. Do you like to create? Do not create a fuss. Do not make a fuss. The neighbor came to tell us off because we were creating a fuss. The neighbor came to tell us off because we were creating a fuss. The neighbor came to tell us off because we were creating a fuss. The neighbor came to tell us off. The neighbor came to tell us off because we were making a fuss, creating a fuss. I think more people should create new things. I think less and less people are creating new things. those companies creating new things are strong. Creating new things might be risky. Creating the new environment, creating a new industry might be risky. The neighbor came to tell us off because we were creating a fuss. Do not create a fuss. Do not make a fuss. The author of the party told us not to create a fuss and always wear mask. The host of the party told us not to create a fuss and always wear a mask inside. The host of the party told us not to create a fuss and always wear a mask. The host of the party told us not to create a fuss and to wear a mask all the times. Don't create a fuss. Don't make a fuss. Don't create a fuss. Don't create a fuss. Don't make a fuss. Don't create a fuss in the middle of the midnight. The festival creating a fuss outside disturbed my comfortable sleeping. The sudden fuss created by the festival made me awake until morning. The fuss created by the festival participants made me awake until morning. The fuss created by the participants in the basement of the hotel disturbed my sleeping. Create a fuss. Don't create a fuss. Don't create a fuss. Don't create a fuss. Do you like to create a new thing? Some genius people create awesome things. Some genius people can create awesome things which are contributing to the society a lot. Thanks to some genius, unique people who created awesome things, the society are getting the benefits. Please do not create a fuss. 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 Please do not make a fuss. Please do not make a fuss. Please do not create 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 a fuss. Do you like to create? It is said creator will survive in the future from now on. It is said creator is strong from now on. It is said creator is stronger. Strong. Do you like creating? 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 Are you creative? I think I'm more creative than others. I'm more creative than average people, I think, I guess. Are you a creative person? Are you creative? I'm too creative to be understood by others. I'm too creative to be understood by others. I'm too creative to be I'm too creative to be understood by others. I'm too creative to be understood by others. Creative. 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 Are you creative? By challenging something new, we can be more creative. It is said that we can be more creative by challenging something new. No one could imagine a creation by me. No one could imagine the creation of the piece from me by me. What a unique creation it is. What a unique creation you made. What a unique creation you made. The creation by me made everyone surprised. The creation by me took all of the colleagues by surprise. I felt someone taking hold of my hands. I felt someone taking hold of my clothes. I felt someone taking hold of my clothes. I felt someone taking hold of my clothes. The creation by me took everybody by surprise. The creation by me took everybody by surprise. The creation by me, the unique creation by me, took everybody by surprise. The unique creation by me took everybody by surprise. The unique creation by me took everybody by surprise. I try to be alone for the better creation. I try to be alone, and I try to make uncontrolled free environment. I try to put me in an uncontrolled free environment for better creation and concentration. I try to put me in an uncontrolled free environment in order for creation, better creation. I try to put me in an uncontrolled free environment for better creation. To come up with a good idea for creation, in order to come up with a good idea for the creation, I try to put me in an uncontrolled free environment. Don't engage me in what I'm not interested in. I don't want you to engage me in an environment I don't like. I wouldn't like you to put me in the environment I'm not interested in. I would not like you to engage me in the field I'm not interested in, which I'm not interested in, that I'm not interested in. I don't want you to engage me in the field that I'm not interested in. I would not like you to engage me in the environment, the field that I'm not interested in. Don't engage me in the field which I'm not interested in. Do not engage me in the field that I'm not interested in. Do not engage me in the field that I'm not interested in. The autonomous machine can engage the opponent autonomously. The team A is going to engage the team B today. The team A is set to engage team B today. The team A was obliged to engage team B in the soccer game. The team A was forced to engage team B in the baseball game. I will engage my opponent after the game today. I will engage the opponent at the match today. The match was decided yesterday, and I will engage the opponent at the shogi match next week. The card of the shogi play were announced yesterday, and I will have to engage the strongest opponent in a commission tomorrow. The team A was obliged to engage the strongest team in the region. I don't want to engage anyone else. 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 Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.